All right, so we're back into another Dragon Ball Super card game video. I'm not alone. I got Mr. Alexis.
Hey, how's it going, everyone?
Hey.
Hi.
Yeah, this is the part that you introduce yourself. My bad.
No, it's all good, all good. Well, I'm Lex. I've been in the channel a couple times with the same deck profile, so
literally
I'm excited to be here again.
Yeah, I mean, when was the last time? Okay, so let me go through the real quick. So the first one was it Nats was the first one, or was it something else?
I don't know. No. It was the regional, LA
Vegas?
regionals.
Oh, LA.
LA regionals. That was one.
Right.
For some reason, I don't know if you were doing content, but I also topped in Nats of 2018. So
yes.
Yeah, or probably you just didn't ask me. I don't know. So
yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, but for sure it was that one.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first one. Then Nats 2019. That was the second one, and the third one was the Pro Play Tour. Yeah, the Pro Play Tour qualifier in Vegas.
I remember that.
3. This is the 4th.
Crazy, absolutely crazy. And this one, I mean, not only a testament of your skill, but also the testament of Janemba itself and how relevant it can be. Like, yeah, in and out of different formats. And
won't die. It won't die.
This one is a top 8, right? Top 8.
Yes, I got 7th place after 8 rounds. Only dropping 1 game. Unfortunate, but I ended up getting 7th place. Yeah. Got it.
And this was the Carta Magica webcam event. Completely full people. I think it was 256. And yeah, I mean, this is you can go through the build, but like I said, it's Mil Janemba. This came out what, set 8?
Not even set 5.
Set 5. Okay.
Yeah, set 5, and it was a promo. So it's it's been a long time now.
Right. Okay. Let's go through the deck then.
All right. So the main difference with the leader. Spoilers. The main difference with the leader, Jedemba, we are playing the alternate art with this one. It just does the same thing. Swing both back, front and back. Swing at anything really, and you're gonna draw 1. Your opponent mills 2. Awaken for less life on tap 2. Okay. Now his front effect is just once per game you're able to pitch 1 blue card to negate any attack. So that's quite relevant nowadays. And then I always use my trusty Kefla token, which was made into a card, so I'm quite excited about that. For starters, the unison that I played, I played the Janemba unison, which I thought it was, I don't know, when I first got it revealed, it's like, do I really want to give a card to my opponent? So they're able to mill 1 card. So that's technically 2 cards. And the answer is yes, I absolutely do want to do that. So this deck is so defensive that it doesn't really matter what the hand size is of your opponent. And most importantly, since everybody likes to have half their deck in their hand, this card is perfect for acceleration of that for that aspect. Yeah. Aside from that, the rest of the mill package, main deck mill package that I have, it's just Jedemba, Agent of Destruction. This one does not have any other keywords aside from critical. Auto, when you play him, you're able to untap 1 energy at the end of your turn, and then you're also, his active main is you warp him, draw 1 card, they mill 3. And then Reality Bender Janemba, this one just falls for 1 energy whenever your opponent has 4 energy and a battle card in place and you don't have anything. And he has critical, at the end of the turn, he goes under your deck, your opponent mills 2. Now, we highly reduce the amount of mill cards, particularly because these are just key whenever, like, you hold them off until you know that you're going to have a big mill turn. So that was my game plan going into them. So if I see 1, I see 2, I try to keep it as much as I can. So I'm able to just mill, for example, this is 2, 4, 6, 9. See, we do know how to do math here. So that's how you keep on milling them. Yep. So that was it for the mill, and for that matter, actually for the almost attack only type of cards as well.
Well, before you continue, how many times did you actually mill out a person, like, to win the game? Oh, okay.
Like I think just 1 game. I think I have to talk about this because this is a game-ending ability too. So yes, aside from 1 that I had to kill the person,
in game.
His effect, in game. Yeah, his effect, -2. It's an active main or active battle, so it's a -2. And then if your opponent has 15 cards or less, this card gets 15k plus triple strike. So that's a 30k swinging right there with triple strike plus all your combo power that you have. It's just a game-ending ability. So I was able to clutch out one particular game like that. He was being very cautious of how he was playing, letting everything go. He was at 3 life. He didn't account for me having that triple strike, but this caught him sleeping, particularly because it's an active battle. So if they would just negate that attack, then I would probably do the +0 or plus and -0.
Right.
But yeah, that was the one time that I did beat someone because of life.
Nice.
All right, so now one of the main ideas of the deck was just like how to play. You know, like I tried blue yellow for the one time, but it didn't really work out. So I just went with like massive super combos, starting with the Vegeta, my actual super combo. You do play a lot of cards that can be dead at certain points, so you want to make sure to filter to grab the better cards. With that, I did play 2 of this. This is just increasing combo power during your opponent's turn, but it doesn't really net your card, so it's not as good as this next card that I thought it was amazing throughout the whole day. The Realm of Gods, and I was able to snatch 4 SPR, so I had to play a blue deck. And realistically, I don't like any blue deck aside from Janemba, so I had to include it. Now, okay, these are like well, this one is self-explanatory. This one, you draw one. This was my out to any battle card that I had to knock off. So if they would place luck, I'll have to take the hit and perhaps not cycle to my deck as fast as I can, but it combos very high, so it's just one of those cards to do that. And then the Realm of the Gods, 2 effects. So during your turn, you're able to snipe a card that is its energy cost is greater than their current energy, and then during their turn, it's just a 2 cost or lower. Now, the only bad part about it is that it sends them to the bottom of the deck as opposed to KOing them, warp them, whatever. Yet it's still life-saving. And also during your opponent's turn, you draw a card. So there's another pseudo super combo. So these are the blue ones that I have. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, cool. So moving on to more somewhat of the OG Janemba, which is what I took when I was playing the blue-yellow. Here was like all the blue-yellow that I took out to play, which just very simple, non-explanatory cards because they all do the same thing. You just combo with them, draw a card, and that's about it. Very important for those early games that you don't want to lose hand advantage, but you are very much likely to win if you're able to keep at half alive. So there was a lot of games that it was turn 4, turn 5, and I still was in a healthy 7 to 6 life. And that's very important because you realistically don't want to drop any lower because then they're able to snipe you with, you know, I don't know. Battle cards nowadays are crazy, so you want to make sure that if they're gonna swing, they're gonna swing, and like you still have quite a bit of life in there. Very simple, and plus, I'm so happy that this one's now foil. So that is extremely
That's true.
Another one of the things. And then I did play an extra unison. It came up twice actually. So the blue unison, if you played a blue leader, you sort of have to play it. I got turning the tide twice, and twice I drew into this after like they weren't able to kill me during that same turn. And this was just like a game changer card also because they don't have any cards in hand, and this one just itself takes care of turning the tide, draws your cards, and is able to put as much pressure as it can. But it realistically came up, I think, twice out of 8 rounds, and even though I saw it, sometimes this is what the main target that I will put down in the bottom of my deck with my super combos and such. And with that, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's broken. Like this. I mean,
it's absolutely broken. This is the card that blue. Like I think that's why Soul Striker is just so hyped, but it doesn't really do as good because it's not playing like it doesn't focus around blue, you know. So I don't know. But yeah, pretty happy that I played it.
Yeah.
Now I did build this deck with 2 other people, so shout out to them, Brandon and Chris. Like we were 3 Jedembas in the tournament yesterday, which were the 3 degenerate people. They opted to play Weeds Coercion, which I thought it was very interesting. They played 4 of that. I opted to play the Trunks, the Heroic Prospect, just because we do still have a lot of Gogeta Zero running around. Also, the new Goku, it's still played a way higher cost than the current energy. So all of that, Sin Shenron for that matter. So all of that is just good. Even though they're able to bottom deck cards, which on the long run it sort of helps them, but you know they never want to lose hand size. So only one Gogeta Zeno took me the challenge of swinging after I did this. And it sort of ended up working out for him, which was my only loss for that matter. But aside from that, he did his work. Even if it was just a negate, so they don't swing at my unison, because the unison, since you're not plussing any markers, you do have to make sure to keep it alive with any negates. Now, one of the cards that still, I think Janemba is the one that utilizes the best is just Setsubin. Just that survivability that it gives you, everything about it is just perfect about it. So, not much to say here, really.
Mm-hmm.
I did play like a little black package. I played Kami, so very important against particularly Trunks, just because they want to overflow the field, and that's how you get them. Also, if I would have played against King Piccolo, this would be extremely handy because they always have more than 3 battle cards in it. So yeah, I caught a lot of people sleeping on this. Just well, realistically, I just resolved it twice, but he could have, like, those 2 people could have avoided getting Kami. But then again, same as Janemba, like, no one's really playing these cards anymore, so that's one of the advantages that I had throughout the day. And then we do, as you said, we have a lot of 5k combos, so we're consistently putting stuff in the drops. I opted to play 2 overruns, and it's the same one that allows me to filter cards through my deck. And with that, I would also be playing those 3 monkeys just to go alongside with that. So draw 2, put a monkey. That was what I did most of the days, most of the time. And then just some more utility cards. One for Destruction Champa. It didn't came up as much as I thought, to kill people again, because I don't have like a lot of good battle cards in a lot of my games. Like, people ended up being in 6 life, but that's how I would be milling them up. Alongside more utility, it's just max power Kamehameha. Absolutely great card for the deck. I have a lot of spare cards in the drop area, so I was able to cycle it consistently. And then the effect of just warping something, it's like, as opposed to the Realm of the Gods, you actually have to answer to a combo step, as opposed to this one's just an active main. So it will depend when you want to activate one or the other. So yeah, that was the only advantage that I take. But it was absolutely good. It was like amazing card, really. And then just the negate package. Still running those 4D magic. Shield's Army Reinforcement. I still don't know how I feel about this card. I think I misplayed once that I should have utilized this card as opposed to just taking the damage, because I said, well, I am going to take the damage, so it doesn't really matter what I do next, you know? But he overextended on his turn, so if he, like, that particular player was against Vegeta, if he was able to put me in an awkward life total, because I didn't play this one. But aside from that one very specific situation, I never really used it or ever felt like the use of it. So I don't know how I feel about it. And Dimension Magic, man, there's nothing to say about it. Janemba's, like, it even has Janemba in it, you know? Like, that's how you know a card is very broken in it.
I suppose. I will say that the blocker negates are continually being, like, questionable, only because, like, in a lot of different, like, better decks, like Sin Shenron will negate it with the 9-drop. The Gogeta Xeno will just warp it in the attack it, right? And then Trunks Vegeta, for instance, will just rest it as soon as you play it. So I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. It really depends on the deck. So, like, for example, I also play Cooler. I'm actually playing Cooler in this region today, and it has come up way much more often than in this deck.
Oh, okay. For sure.
Yeah, that's something different. And the last card, the SCR that I played, was actually the Lineage.
Right.
I don't have the SS4 negate, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
I think Vermilion Saiyans, right?
Yeah.
Which would be the correct replacement of this card. However, this card did steal me a game because after I got Turning the Tide, I was able to get this card off live from another attack, obviously not turning. And then on the following turn, he went all in with Turning the Tide, and I was able to take it from him. So
nice.
Aside from that, everything else, like, I had it way too much times, but I never really used it because nowadays everything's either an A drop or it has barriers. So the way that I lost, actually, it was a misplay that I did. He went in with one of the Gogeta Xenos that has barriers, so I was not able to take that particular card. He would have gone with everything else, like an all-in. I would just take it and end of combo steps. So that was my misplay. However, everything else was just... It was just, like, decent to have, you know. It's nice that we're gonna play a secret rare, but I don't really think it's as much needed as, for example, the SS4.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, it was interesting because George, like I mentioned before, is playing Janemba right now, and he plays that secret. he went against a red Goku player and he wiped his entire board with that card, which is pretty crazy.
That would have been amazing, honestly. And
For
then
sure.
I also tried the blue yellow with the Sabasu package, but I tested out just a week before that, and it wasn't really that good.
I feel it. Okay, well, let's. Do you remember your matchups as well?
Let me see. Yes. So first round was against a Soul Striker, Mono Blue Soul Striker. It was scary because they ended up ramping since they were utilizing that Goku. It was just like a skillless So he ended up ramping towards 7 really quick. He ended up dropping Turn of the Tide, but I got better cards for that, so I won that one. Second round, Magica. Magica was probably just I was favored. Also, I don't think he knew how to play Janemba, so I also got that one because he was drawing a lot of his cards.
Yeah.
And then I played against another Soul Striker, but this one was blue-red. This one had me by the ropes. It was a little bit more aggro, but also I was able to clutch it out. And then I played against another. Let me see. Okay. I remember. Okay, I played against an SS4 Vegeta, the ramp one. So this one, just because it was ramping, attacking, that's like 2 cards off his deck, and I was able to establish my unison, and I was able to move him out quite fast. So yeah, that was that. And then aside from that, my one loss was Gogeta Sino. I didn't. This was interesting because he established a thwarting on his very first turn, so it was quite hard to like decide what am I gonna do. Am I gonna be taking the life? So he was able to put way too much pressure, and then just me with that mistake of just like not negating an attack when I should have negated an attack. That was my only loss. And I don't know how many matches was that.
I think it's 6, maybe missing 1.
6.
But that's okay.
Yeah. Okay, but I do remember I played against a Sen, which is also another mill deck, which I think is absolutely like a great deck because it has the potential to do either like mill you out or kill you.
Yeah.
Now, luckily, and this is a shout out also to one of the boys here in Georgia that plays only that deck. His name is Johnson. I knew how to play against that deck, so I was a little bit in favor because that's one kind of deck that you don't really know what to expect. So you maybe be drawing your cards. Like I wasn't using any of my pseudo super combos. I wasn't using anything that would net me cards. Just because I know that.
Is this cooler?
No, it was a Xenoshin.
Oh, Xenosyn. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yes,
My
same
bad
thing.
with my
No, you're good.
Yeah. So it was for sure one of those decks that is just like a little bit complicated of like if you don't know what to do, because for example you have the drives and like normally if I didn't know what it would do, it's like, oh cool, he's not attacking as much, I'll just draw 2 and see more pieces. So it came down for me just setting up a really big mill turn, just because he had about 10 cards in deck, so I had to do the perfect mill. Like it was a hard, very hard matchup.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
okay.
aside from that,
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
two Trunks and Vegeta. 2 Trunks and Vegeta. I forgot about this. Those 2.
Oh, okay.
I gotta admit, I don't know, like nothing against the players, but I didn't think it was like that much of a hard deck. They can recur their 1 drops, but they can't recur their 3 drops. So and without playing any of the yellow good stuff, 1 did drop Son Goku Annihilation. So that one was for sure able to just put some work because I have a lot of extra cards. But if they would have dropped something like Slug, it would have been way much more useful. But I don't think that deck has like the space to run Slug.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's 8 runs right there.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. And anything you would change? Any shout outs? Anything else that you want to close out with?
Man, it's sort of weird to say what would I change or not, just because it's like it was a 51 card deck. The one thing probably I would go to 55, just because there was a lot of games that because I'm cycling through my cards way too much, I myself was about to mill out. You know, like one particular Trunks and Vegeta, like I was just shelling really hard, and I had like 3 cards in deck, so I wouldn't be able to combo off whatever he would throw just because I would have to use those that will draw my cards. So I probably increased the deck count. Now I do need to find a way to deal with Turning the Tide, just because like I really got lucky. That's the whole reason why I ended up, you know, like who comes back after a Turning the Tide? Like that's
Yeah.
literally a game-winning card. So I
Hmm.
got very, very lucky. Now I don't know if I would main the Gajira for that.
Nah, I mean
But
that's more of like a fest type thing. You know, if you see
I
a blue deck, then you're just gonna, jam into the Jarens.
yeah, I don't think I'll play this deck in Fest really, just because Fest sounds like fun time. So
Yeah,
this is a stressful. I don't know why this is a stressful deck to have, but yeah.
yeah, I get it.
Um, but realistically, I'm trying to think if just like some attack more way to put pressure on your leader on their leader, because for example that Settle Shin, like he was still in 6 life and
Hmm.
I was nowhere close killing him, and that sort of feels bad because I like to have that particular option now. Then again, like we used to do that back in set 5, where
Right,
they would be caught sleeping, but right now it's very hard about it.
right. I get you.
Yeah.
Okay. Any shout outs before we close this out?
Yeah, so shout out to Eric. He's my testing partner, so anytime that I don't know how to play against a deck or I don't know what it does, like I have to text him and tell him, hey, build this deck in on tap and let's play against it because I need to test out. Like I don't know what it's done, and he's typically fine with it. So aside from him, also Brandon and Chris, like those two were the other Janemba fellows that played. So we were 3 Janembas yesterday, and it was us 3. Brandon got 20th place. Quite unlucky he didn't make top 16.
Mm.
And Chris, we're not talking about Chris. uh, Aside from that, everyone from San Diego, everyone from Georgia, thank you so much for, they were all supporting most of the time. And yeah, I think that's about it.
All right, man. Yeah, glad to have you again for the 4th time with the same deck. For those in the comments below, definitely put us some questions. Let us know what you think, your own build, etc. And if that's it, we'll see you guys in the next one. Say bye.
All right, peace out, everyone.